Hey you, I'm the Queen of Shade. Welcome to the interview. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit my Cash App to support your favorite content creator. Now let's get to the interview. Mwah.
I can think about a million reasons why you need to burn in hell. You're a liar and a cheater, a con artist telling tales. Been rejected, disrespected, boy, your abuse never fails. I'm so done, boy, really done, boy, now I'm staying to myself. I'm so stoic. 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 I'm so stoic.
Salutations, Stupos. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming to you with another special presentation. Moving full speed ahead, getting to know some amazing people from all over the world. It has truly been a journey and an experience. I've spoken to some of the most amazing men and women that have just, brought their whole hearts to this platform and really opened up and shared some amazing things about themselves. And I'm just so fortunate that they have done it with me. Having said that, I have someone else that you need to meet. This young man is a personal trainer, a fitness trainer, and he is very, very, very quickly rising to be a viral sensation. It's just going to happen because he believes in helping small queer boys build muscle and become bigger queer boys so that they can strut around beaches, bars, and bedrooms comfortably. Now, his screen name is T2T Results. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to formally introduce you to Mr. James Patrick. Yay!
Hi. No, that was quite the build up.
I always
That was actually awesome.
Oh, yeah. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It has been a good day for sure. And Cali weather is beautiful today for sure.
Oh, you're in California.
I'm
in Philadelphia for now. I'm in Philadelphia.
Nothing wrong with the East Coast. I spent most of my life over there. And so it was definitely a much needed move. So
really? What part of the East Coast where were you from? Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Atlanta, right? So the actual South, like, people in Virginia be like, oh, I'm in the South. That's not the South, right? And so it's not. And so I've been pretty much Atlanta, Florida, South Carolina, Virginia, New York, Jersey, like that whole basically Middle East besides like the tip. I'd been there. And so it was just kind of.
And no Philly.
No, no, Billy.
But you know what's so crazy? Now I'm going to ask this question because it just makes perfect sense. Would you say that all of those places, did they help to shape who you are today?
Oh, of course. That's yes, for sure. I will say biggest, probably like blessings that I didn't know were like blessings at the time.
Yeah.
One, fast paced childhood with a single mom who was doing her thing, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of great foundation for when you have again authoritarian parent, like great foundation, right, for achievement. And then going into the military after that, I just remember thinking like, there's no way some of these people that you see on TV, they're actually real. Like that is actually a thing. Because I grew up in this like little bubble, and so I'm thinking like, people aren't like that. Like, no, there are actually people like that. And so that was great. And so that was the start for sure.
Wow. So military. Okay. Single mother. I love single mothers because I had one. And look what I became.
Right.
Household name now. So it's just, yeah. So the military, what branch of the military were you in?
I was in the Navy. I wanted to go Army, but my mom was like, "Oh, my baby gonna get shot." I actually had a buddy.
Ah!
I'm serious. We are gonna do the buddy program and everything. It just didn't. My mom was like, which, by the way, super grateful for again in hindsight, because Navy life is way better than Army life. And I would have went in as infantry. So yeah, no,
Wow.
yeah.
I have an aunt that was in the Navy.
Oh, no kidding.
Love her dearly. She was stationed in Malibu, California for a while.
Crazy.
Then she went to Japan for a while. She was also a part, we were so nervous. She was part of the Persian Gulf War.
Wow.
Yeah, so that you tell you know that
Crazy.
goes back. Yeah, that's long
Yeah, no, for
stuff.
sure.
You know, she's in her 50s now. She's 54 years old, but she was in her 20s then. You know, and I have so much respect for this aunt because, you know, let's face it, the Navy doesn't make you rich.
Not at
Okay.
all.
The Navy doesn't make you rich, but what my aunt did was she came home from Malibu, California, and she saw myself and my three siblings and my mother, because it was a really big thing in my family. But my mother was strung out on drugs during the 80s.
Yeah.
So, so she came home from Malibu, saw the four of us, and decided to stay.
Wow.
And not only did she decide to stay, but she took all of us, all four of us, and moved us to the suburbs for the first time and literally was stationed down at the brig, down at the old naval base here in Philadelphia. It's closed now. But she was there and she commuted. And I just felt like, you know, looking back now, I'm 40, I was 10 back then.
Yeah.
Now that I look back at it, like you said, hindsight is 2020. I look back at it and her sacrifice was so monumental. It was so much
Right.
because here she was, you know, she's only 13 years older than me. So at
Crazy.
10, she was 23,
Yeah.
you know, and she took on four kids. And she didn't do it alone. She had my grandmother. My grandmother always stayed in my life being a caretaker, but I just remember all of the sacrifices. And I remember sometimes it's kind of funny because this is how I got to college and how I picked my major was because going to moving to the suburbs and then not having anyone home in the afternoon. She didn't want us there by ourselves. So she made a pact with the school, the elementary school that I went to, and they put us on a different bus instead of the bus home. And that bus bused us to the library.
Oh, wow.
Every day for 2 years, I went to the library after school, and about 6 or 7 o'clock at night, she would be walking through the doors to pick us up. But the library knew that we all four of us were there.
Right.
They, you know, they looked out for us. And, you know, it was in that library that I developed my love for animals and why I went to school in college for biology to become a veterinarian. It
That's
didn't
cool.
go all the way. I became a, you know, this,
Entertain. Yeah. Right.
you know, this,
For sure.
but but that love and that passion of reading those books after school still is with me. I love animals. I have a cat right now, but there'll
Yeah.
be more things after I move out of here. But you know, it's just that love of, you know, her loving us enough to even, you know, because listen, the military is not easy. This is why I'm saying it. So I'm saying all this to say that I'm coming around to it, but it's not easy. And like I said, it doesn't make you wealthy. And then after you get out, you have to kind of decide what you're doing with your life. Am I going to college? And then what am I going to do with this? And what am I going to do with that? It's so crazy that people they look at young people weird when they say, I'm an army vet or a Navy vet.
Yeah.
And it's not you like, boy, what you mean vet?
Right.
You're so young. And it's like, no, I'm a veteran. I got out. I did 8 years. I did 4 years, you know? So I said all of that to say that, but it just brought back a fond memory of
Oh, for
her
sure.
stepping up to the plate. And I remember going to the brig. There was sometimes like I'd get sick and she'd take me into the brig and I'd stay
Wow.
in the kitchen while she was running around and doing what she had to do because she cooked a lot. So I remember there with my headphones on and I'm a singer. So I remember being in there. She put Tony Braxton in my ears and
Right.
I'm sitting there, candlelight and, you know, singing all the Tony Braxton songs. But it was a warm feeling. But anyway, I digress. How many
It
years?
sounds like she loved you.
Yes, she did. She did.
That is
And she
awesome.
still does.
Yeah.
But, you know, families grow apart because you grow up and you decide
Yeah.
that you're going to do your own
Yeah.
thing.
For
And
sure.
as you can see, I'm going to do my own thing.
Right.
I'm not going to be told what to do.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. But so when they feel you won't listen, and when you're there, she was very regimented. And when she sees that you're breaking that mold, you're a spawn of Satan, but that's okay.
No, for sure. But you still look, I mean, like, I don't know how you feel about it, but it's still like there are people like that in my life too, where it's like, but you still look back and it's like, man, though we're not cool anymore, I'm
Yeah,
still grateful. Like
yeah.
I still appreciate the what you did for me, you know?
You hit the nose on your head, though we're not cool anymore. I'm
Yeah,
still very grateful for what you did, because what you did fostered a
for
lot of
sure.
love and my care for books and learning and all kinds of stuff. How many years were you in?
Oh, I was in for 4. Yeah, 4 and got
Okay,
out. And
four.
that's a whole story in that too. But yeah, 4 and I got out. Mm-mm.
I can't ask you that and you say four and I not want to hear the story.
Well,
So yeah,
um, so everybody is like, well, so I'm being as transparent as I could be, right?
yeah,
I got out, and for military folk, they'll know what an RE4 is. I got out with general under honorable conditions, which is like, so there's like a couple different rounds. There's like, you can get out honorably, and then there's the next best is general under honorable conditions.
right.
I got out, and my captain was basically like, hey, look, we're going to let you out, but you can't come back. And it was one of those things, which is very odd to like, probably for a lot of people that actually like know me now. But when I got in, I was hard charging. Like I like to achieve at anything I do, and I was very devoted.
Yeah,
And so, long story short, the program that I was in, not many people can get into, and I worked my butt off to graduate number one in that class.
right,
So they wanted me to be a staff instructor. I declined it, and when I declined it, you don't say no to an opportunity that man, like and I get it, but my current chain of command, they understood, but unfortunately it was a change of command, and I didn't understand what that at the time meant.
right.
New people were coming in, new chain of command, they had a different perspective than the current one. They were like, you don't say no to this opportunity. And it just worked out how I was supposed to. But basically, long story short, after that event, lost money, lost rank, was not happy after I'd put in what I felt like I worked for this.
Yeah,
And so I had a real bad attitude for the next probably like 2 years. I was like, yo, like I was not happy. And so that actually best thing that could have happened, because it let me basically when I got out of the military, I still had that same arrogance and anger.
mhm,
And so that led into me going into the next 2 years job hopping, where basically like anybody would say something to me, I'd be like, I'm out. And so, but you keep doing that. And I kept losing money until I lived in my car for like a year and a half. And then my car got totaled, had to live on a roof. Right. And I'm like,
Ruth?
dude, yeah, it was like, but it's like, so, cause car's house, right? When
Yeah,
you're living, and then like someone ran a red light when I was on the way to a job, that was it. But the point is in this block of time, that was when I had to realize like, one, I don't know everything. Two, like I had to actually start rebuilding myself. And so that was actually extremely formative years for who I am today. But it's like, so I'm actually grateful that that didn't work out, because my original plan was I was going to do 20 in the military.
ooh,
Who would have thought?
God,
But yeah, no, that worked out great. But it's like that did not seem that way for years until all the stuff started to connect, like it does. But it's
yeah,
like, yeah, no,
yeah.
it did not make sense at the time.
What's so crazy? With this general under honorable conditions, are you still able to go to college?
Yeah, yeah. So I can, yeah, I've done the stuff to basically have it. There's some things you can do on the back end to where it's like, even with the way that I got out, you still have a certain good bit of your benefits, but it's like there are certain things you can't do. And for a minute, a good chunk of like some years, I was like, screw y'all, I don't need nothing from y'all anyway. So it's like, and then I went through a season of no, I worked for this. Like I earned this. Like I actually want this.
Yeah,
And what really kind of like irritated me was when I actually wanted to apply. I actually, long story short, like I actually did get hurt in the military, and I was like, why are y'all making this so difficult for me to get my like? I didn't even. I think it was like I forgot what it is. Y'all can Google whatever 10% disability is. I was just trying to get a little bit, and they denied it. And I was like, all right. So then, anyway, and that made the game. I like people say no to me. It like made me like, all right, now I'm going to actually like work for this, right? The
right.
point didn't want the benefits, really wanted the benefits, and now I can give two shits about it again. It's just amazing how it's just like the reason why I don't, because it's like now it's like it so doesn't matter right now. It
Wow.
still does not matter about like that. Like I genuinely do not even notice it. Like not even joking. And so you live and you learn. Life is cool.
You know what I realized though? I'm not going to keep you there. This interview's going to be happy, but
Yeah,
I thank you for sharing.
we can go wherever you want, but
Yeah,
yeah,
okay. Well, okay, good.
yeah, for sure.
Well, because my thing is, you know what I hear? I need to be, first of all, I need to commend you
Well,
because what I hear is a lot of overcoming of a lot of pain and insurmountable odds. That's what I heard. That's what I got from that.
yeah.
Single mother, no father there, and I'm sure mama had to put responsibilities on you. And, are you an only child?
No, I actually have an older brother, and you want to talk about like whenever that dude gets us like he is. I feel that he is going. This is my belief. I
Yeah,
genuinely believe he is going to make it at some point
yeah,
to a level that we both mutually acknowledge and respect. Because that's another thing is just we have like incredibly high standards, and I
yeah,
think that that's again an extension of our mom. But to be honest, but it's like, which again, grateful. She put that like provider gene so deep in there that it was just like by the time we were adults, it's like, but I believe he's going to be successful. And when he tells his story, now that guy's stuff is wild. Like my story is like it's just very compressed, where it's like I went through a lot of stuff at a very like in a short period of time.
right.
And best part about it was I think where most people lean into their support system, I
Yeah.
broke away from mine,
Okay.
and so that allowed for me to actually like figure out well, I know that I'm still going to make it, but I just had to figure out like how to and build my own identity in the process.
Yeah.
Where I think other people kind of absorb their support systems. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was so crazy. I thank God for my grandmother because, growing up, we started in the projects. And like I said, until I was 10 years old. But my grandmother had already put into motion some amazing things. While her children were young, she went to college. She did community, and then she did a bachelor's degree, and then she did a master's degree. And she became a teacher.
Mm,
And by the time she had done that, my mother made her a grandmother at 35 years old. My mother was 17. My father was 28.
that's crazy.
That's a crime, sweetheart.
I mean,
So yeah, so I
I
was
mean at those years, we'll say it is a crime at those years for sure. The
yeah,
mother of my daughter is 11 years older than me too, so it's
yeah.
like
Wow. I'm gonna touch that too. But but it's just having her was she was like my savior. But the thing about her was that she couldn't just focus on me. She was focused on um, the whole family. So she
mm,
had to provide for the whole family. Unfortunately, and I'm just going to be transparent because people know this, there's a lot of mental illness that runs in my family.
mm.
Surprisingly, my grandmother, if she has mental illness, she learned how to freaking cope with it better than anybody I've ever seen ever in life. And, the rest of us, my uncles are now exhibiting it, and they're older now. They're in their late 40s and 50s. And it's crippling them. I'm seeing it start to pop up in my sister's children, and it's really scary about that. But, you know, that was actually why I had to leave school. I was medically withdrawn from school because I was diagnosed bipolar with acute
Yeah,
anxiety disorder and PTSD from my childhood.
gotcha.
So
Yeah,
I had to leave, and I would have,
same.
yeah, I would have. Oh, really? Wow. So we have a lot in common. No, but this is the thing. I love what you said because that was actually the best thing that could have happened to me. The best thing. It was hard. It hurt. I was homeless. I depended on the kindness of strangers, which I will never do again. Yeah, like it was a sad tale for a long time. And somehow in the midst of that tale, I managed to leave the country and
Mm,
go be a fashion model in Paris.
that's cool.
And my thing was, I thought I had made it. I'm like, okay, they love me. They accept this whole androgyny thing. They
Yeah.
want me to wear the women's clothing anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm good. And then for me to not have dealt with past traumas or be medicated or have had therapy, I was 22 in Paris.
Mm.
And I started a manic episode, and my manic episodes last for months.
Mhm.
I was there 6 months. I think I worked as a model the first two.
Mm.
The rest of the time I spent in a hospital. It was really a serious thing.
That's
And
crazy.
that was, yeah, that was the first time, because I've been hospitalized a lot of places, but that was the first time that I actually had a brush with success,
Mm.
and it was like, okay, I need to get this together. But get this, felt better, said, put it on the back burner, left
Yeah.
it alone, come back. And then I uh, turn around and I take a year off. I'm like literally fell off the radar for a year, stayed with a friend. And she was amazing to me. I was kind of they called me her manny. I was her manny, not her nanny. I
That's
was her
funny.
manny.
That's funny.
Children. And she shielded and covered me for a whole year. And then I got back out there, got a job. And, then the next thing to come was record deals.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I've had a lot.
That's
Idol, I
cool.
sang, and
Yeah.
a lot was, and this is the thing, this is the reason why I'm going this way, James, is because I had, even in my early career, I was recognized. They knew, okay, this is a star, it's gonna happen. If he keeps pushing,
Mhm.
it's gonna happen. And me, I have this crazy, from being bipolar, I have this crazy, I'm type 1, so I have this crazy energy, and I'm a workaholic.
Mhm.
That's what I do. So it was like, okay, well, we know this one's projected to win. Problem was, I didn't go anywhere and get any therapy. I wasn't taking any medication. So the bottom kept falling out. I kept ending up homeless. I kept ending up, without anything, losing everything. And the last time I went into the hospital, which was 2009, I was on YouTube and I started to go viral on YouTube, and people started to know who I was, and I had opera singers reaching out to me, and I met my first producer, and we made a lot of my music together via the internet, because I was being helped from Europe.
Mhm.
Crazy.
It's
America
cool.
wasn't really into me.
Oh, that's cool.
I was being helped. That's why I had to go to Paris in the first place. I was being helped from Europe.
Makes
So
sense.
yeah, so it was at that moment that I had to admit it to myself. When my producer asked me what's wrong, because everybody's like, I'm okay. All my following, they're like, okay, you're flipping out on camera. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I had to finally say out loud, I'm bipolar and I'm unmedicated. I need to take some time, get myself together. And I told my producer that, and he said, okay, well, a lot of stars are. he
Yeah.
said, he said, he said, take your time. And when you're having those manic episodes, build a fashion icon. Well, I listened.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I listened.
That's awesome.
But I began 18 years ago, I began the therapy and I began the medication, and it kind of helped me turn my life around. And then
Hmm.
I want to say 2016, 2015, I went viral
Mhm.
on the internet, on Instagram. And I've been able to stretch that viral moment from 2016 to 2023
Cool.
moment. And,
Yeah.
I didn't have an LLC before going viral. I didn't own trademarks before going viral. I didn't even have music before going viral, you know,
Yeah.
and I kind of had to do it in hindsight. I had to catch up. It's like, okay, well, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need merch, I need this, I need that. And long story short, it actually worked out for me. But there are a lot of people who it didn't, you
Yeah.
know. And I stopped right there and paused right there, because I just want to commend you, because people don't like to talk about this. They don't want to talk about this. We feel kind of like embarrassed about talking about this mental illness and
Hmm.
hardship. But what I'm saying is, I saw you on the internet, and I saw a star. I saw someone very, very with a lot of love to give to the world. And I read your bio, and like I said, because somewhere in there you found out I'm queer. So, somewhere in there you worked that out. I don't know, from the military and all of that,
Who
you,
would
you would have known. Exactly. You took it out of my mouth. Who would have known? And, I can't imagine that was went over well because it didn't go over well with my family. Uh, but you found the opportunity to like kind of stretch your wings, unfurl them so that we could kind of see them. And now, and I'm bringing us up to present date, now we have this amazing content that you've created where you are motivating all of us to be our authentic selves. It's the reason I asked you to
Mm.
speak because I'm not doing too many of these anymore. I used to do them a
Appreciate it.
lot. Yeah, I used to do them a lot, but now I've got some other things in the works and I'm
Got
busy.
other things, yeah.
So I'm busy. So, but
Cool.
I'm speaking to. It's not so much will you come on my show as it
Yeah,
is. I want to talk to you. You
that's
know.
cool.
So I just want to commend you because it's just like your content is so spot on. Like, and there's humor in it. There's satire. And literally, I want everyone to see it and they will, because you put a lot of time, like you said, overachiever. I'm that too. So you put a lot of time into the nuances of your content. Everything matters. But what got my mind and what grabbed me was not only were you saying these amazing things that the queer community needs to hear, but you're saying them from a place of strength and power. And you've got this amazing body with all these tattoos. And, like
Yeah,
it's what I'm saying is kudos to you for playing to your strengths and not allowing someone to come along to you and come along and say, oh, you're just using your body. You just want to be seen. You just want to be
yeah.
because
Nah, I've heard it for sure.
this every guy I've brought to every guy I brought to this camera is doing the same thing. And my thing is, why are you trying to change or shame the guy when you're watching him?
I don't know. Everybody, that's fine. For me, this is a couple different beliefs on that. One, everybody's there's seasons and phases in life, and I think that life comes down. At least for me, I'm speaking from my view.
Yeah.
Life comes down to being appropriate in the moment, right? And so it's like I'm not going to continue to act like a teenager. I want to actually like okay, figure out this whole adulthood thing. And one of the seasons, as far as physically, I got probably from now until probably like 40, 45 that I'm gonna probably maintain like, and then after this, I'm being real. I'm gonna have, and while I'm doing this, I will have other interests. Like, but I'm like, for me, I have always been like, I think that it is such a beautiful thing when people use everything that they got.
Yeah.
Like, use all the gifts that you have.
Yeah.
If you're a good communicator, communicate. If
Yeah.
you can sing, sing, right? Like, everyone has something. And I'm like, I literally, this is the first time that I've wrapped my business, the way I think about business around literally, I was already going to the gym. I already was like half naked. Like you can ask my previous real estate employees, they would come over to my house, I'd be in my underwear. Like it's like, I was already giving out tips. Like it's like, I always crack dick jokes. It was just kind of like, it's like funny to me. And so it's like, even when I presented, had a straight front, it's like, I just have always thought dick jokes were hilarious. Uh, and so it's just fortunate that it's man, I actually am building. I genuinely, it seems like people are being helped by me being spot on, just being me,
Yeah.
consistent. I've identified like, okay, cool. Like just I get to be me, talk about fitness, queer life, like anything that's like queer entertainment,
Yeah.
like and I just that's it. And it's cool.
You know, you're absolutely right. I learned in Paris actually by an American editor at that time of one of the big magazines. She uh she started as a model and then ended up a fashion editor of a magazine. So she said to me, she was the one that said to me, you've got to use every talent, every tool in your toolbox to arise a respected opinion in this business. And that's when I learned. And I came back to America shamed because I was just like, oh, I'm back here. I had a place to stay in Paris and I was homeless in America. It was really sucked. But I came back and it was the attitude of, I'm going to do everything that I can possibly do to get back to France. That's what it's always been, to get back to France, because I found myself in Paris. I'm a Libra. It's so
Yeah.
funny. They always say that Paris, they're honorary Libras. They love the finer things in life. They love the elegant, all of those things. They're
That's
very
awesome.
chic, you know?
I
So,
hope you've got to get there. I
okay,
think that it's super important.
I have offers. I have offers.
Okay, cool. Like I think it's crazy to me that some people choose to stay in a geographical environment. So
Yeah,
like, because it's like it's where I'm from, it's what I know.
yeah,
I genuinely think that is like if you're not happy there, like
yeah,
we're not plants, we can actually do something about that. Like, it's
right.
crazy. I hope like
Yeah.
you can get back there if that's where you're happy.
It is. And I've been working for so long to get back there. It's been about 18 years. And I like honestly, I thought I couldn't work here. I thought I wouldn't work here. I thought that this was too much.
Yeah.
'Cause, I'm not a drag queen. I'm a cross dresser, and we call that I call it trans illusion because that's what I do. I'm a trans illusionist.
Mm.
So one of my Hollywood friends, insiders, gave me that name, Darnell Thomas. He said, "Baby, you're a
Oh,
trans illusionist." Yeah. So
cool.
they've helped define who I am. I'm an intellectual entertainer. I use the brain, and a trans illusionist. So I've
That's
had
cool.
I've had help along the way, but I didn't think I could work here. I didn't think that America, because they had never embraced me before, would
Mm.
even be remotely interested in anything that I did, my music, anything. They like even when they heard my music, it was like, oh, this is European, like this is European. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, okay.
Sure.
And honestly, that's really what I'm famous for. It's not even uh, the viral moment. I'm famous for one of my songs doing so well in the UK that they wrote up an expose on me in the newspaper, and it was a huge thing. And then I started getting letters from all the streaming sites. They wanted proof of verification that I owned it and owned the
Yeah,
copyrights. And I'm like, yeah, this is mine, honey. All the royalties come to me, baby.
that
So
is cool.
yeah, so it actually forced, Google. It was like Google was like, when you Google me, I took all my music down because I'm trying to decide what I want to do with it. But
Mm.
because I didn't like the pay, my
Gotcha.
you charge me, well, you're paying me pennies on the dollar, but you charge your people and listeners $20 for a subscription every month, but you're
Yeah.
not paying me what I feel is my music is worth. So I had
Mm.
there's some things there.
Okay.
So, I'm working on that. But as you know, I've been offered opportunities in Europe, I mean, in America. And so I'm going to do those opportunities before I leave.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to skedaddle on out of here. But you know what I realized? You said something, and people say this about me, the authenticity, the authenticity. When you are who you say you are and you actually are that,
Yeah.
there's a lot of power that you enjoy. There's a lot of, it's almost metaphysical because nothing can stop you. You just keep winning. Yes, it's sometimes at a snail's pace. I was talking to my therapist today
Mm.
about that. And we were talking about, my past, because I didn't really enjoy my 20s or my 30s. I put my head down to work at 24
Yeah.
and I look back up and I'm 40.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
time went by so fast. And I just worked the whole time. So it was just like, I didn't enjoy my youth, but it's okay because where I am now, I'll be able to enjoy a lot more.
Is there any resentment there? Because I've pretty
Uh,
much done the same thing minus 7 months.
there was a little bit of resentment for a second. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to explain this to you for a second. And then I realized, what is it that you feel you're missing?
Mm.
And I had to say to myself, well, I haven't been on major this. I haven't been on major that. I
Yeah.
haven't done this. I haven't done that. And then my brain kicks in and I'm a shaman. So the divine spoke to me and said, okay, so your career has been a snail's pace. You've had to build it behind the radar, under the radar, beneath the radar. But what did you ask me for? So then I had to go back to my original why and what. And I said, I asked you to be in control of my career, and not only to be in control of my career, but to own myself. I didn't want to work for a music label. I didn't want to work for um, a design house. I didn't want to work for a modeling agency and have them have me on their roster.
Yeah.
And I do all this amazing work and they own it. So I
Mm.
asked the divine for 100% ownership of me and the content that I create. He said, well, since you asked me for that, I've got to take you this way because now you're asking me to do something that is usually not done. You're asking me to own everything. And in this world, you can't, first of all, you can't be Black and do that. We don't have too many Black people that are even in entertainment where they own the rights to everything they do. So I had to realize that I asked the universe for something very specific.
Yeah.
And in order to get that specific thing, I had to go the long way because the long way meant that I got to keep the rights and the ownership of everything that I do. I don't have to split proceeds. I don't have to do any of that. And I used to complain, oh, well, such and such is on tour and such is doing this and such is doing that.
For
And,
sure.
and the divine would say to me, but how much of that money is going into their pockets?
Every time.
And I was like, hmm. And he was like, if you decided to throw a show, you'll have the money to buy out the venue. See, here's the business side. You'll have money to purchase the venue, and then they can issue tickets, and all the ticket revenue comes to you.
Mm.
All of it, all of that. You don't have to get tour support from the label. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. But see, what does that force me to do? Start small. And
Gotcha.
but you see, everybody wants big stadiums and arenas. They want to come out doing that. They want to, they want top billing. And it's like, yeah, but who owns that? Not you,
Yeah.
not you. So in asking the divine for what I asked for, I'm on par. I own everything and I'm on par to continue to do that because in me being really truthful with myself, I don't want to be on tour.
Mm.
I want to sing when I want to.
Yeah.
Don't want to, I don't want to. And I want
Right.
to speak when I want to and lecture when I want to. And when I don't want to, I don't want to have to. That's a whole nother level. So,
Yeah.
so
Cool.
I want to ask you because you you have this business where you are helping people sculpt and build their bodies and you're very good at it. We can see the results from your body. You know what you're doing. I worked out for about 18 years of my life, and then because I worked for myself and I was doing everybody's job, the whole job of a boardroom, I kind of let my fitness go because I couldn't leave the house.
Yep.
But I love fitness. It's something I will get back into when I can, like, because I have the first thing is I have to move from here, so it needs to be
Yep.
in building or on my property. I need to be able to. I can't leave my work for long periods of time because I am the boss and I need to be here because I'm running it. Now, yes, I've subcontracted labor before, but nobody can do it better than I can. Nobody knows what I want better than so. I can't go too far away. So, and that's just been something that I've just gotten used to. I keep myself in relative form and shape because I was a model, so I know what to avoid, what to
Right.
eat, stuff like that. But I want I want my body back, and I
Oh,
will
cool.
be able to do that because I've had times where I had to stop before. And because I have the knowledge, I went like in college, I took a weightlifting class and
Cool.
series of them, and they taught us how to like really work out and how to really get results. And then on top of that, I had a thing for football players, so I worked out with them, and
Right.
they taught me things and
No, for sure.
like the way yeah, they liked the way my body was, and so
Right.
but
Learning experiences all around.
exactly. But the reason why I'm asking this is because I see a future for you, not just in your business, but in entertainment. So I'm like, do you have any ideas of what you want to do with your content or where you would like to end up with your content?
From a content perspective, I actually haven't thought that far. I know where I'm going as far as the actual business itself.
Yeah.
The content itself, I was just gonna put it on YouTube at some point. Actually, I haven't really thought much further than that as far as I've had people ask me like, or hey, you could do this, this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, I know that I'm like entertaining, but right now, if it's not in alignment with where I'm going, I'm not interested. But that's an interesting thought. I'm gonna have to actually think of that. That's actually a good question. Like, what do I want to do with this content long term?
Yeah, because the reason why I ask is it goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
Every talent that you have, every color, every crayon in the crayon box
right.
ahead. And you're really good. You're really good. And my thing is this, even not me sitting here, I have a career. I've done things. I've gone places. I'm up for specific jobs to be on larger platforms. And I never left my house.
That's awesome.
I never left my house.
Right. That's
Literally,
awesome.
I never left my house. And I always wanted to work on the internet because I could reach a lot of people and didn't have to do a lot of footwork, groundwork.
Right.
So that was the idea anyway. And people are always like, "Oh, you can use this as leverage." And I said to them, "No, sweetheart, this isn't leverage. This is actually the career. This is what I do. LLC behind this. This is what I do
Yeah,
every day. This is my job."
for
But
sure.
the reason why I want to throw that out is because, the next thing your content is so vision worthy and it's coming. It's coming. And when that comes, so do the celebrities, and so do all of these people, and so do all of this. Trust me, it happens the same way for all of us. So then you're being asked, "Oh, come here. Will you do a comedy segment here? Will you do this? Will you do that?" Like a lot of people have careers today because of what they did on social media, me included.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
I just wanted to put that into your brain because literally, just like you said, it's just something to think about. Like, if I get a call to do this, and what I love about you is you don't just leap. Like we had a conversation about the contract. So I know that you're very, you
Yeah.
cross your T's and you dot your I's. And now that I know you're a military man, I'm like, oh, of course, like you're gonna make sure all of it is together. So there's no one better to manage your career but you. You slip out of town and go do this and make money and do this or do that. And you that it's coming. Like you said, it's early for you,
Yeah.
but I just want to put it in your head because I don't want you to be surprised or blindsided when it does.
I probably right now, if it comes, so timing is going to be key.
Yeah,
Timing will be key because I am pretty committed probably right now for the next 5 to 7 years
good,
in building this business.
good.
And so uh yeah, the way that this is going to be built out, it's probably going to take me about 5 to 7 years.
Yeah,
And so I mean like we'll see what comes from there, but
yeah,
right now I'm very aware that it's a crazy thing, man. When you first start, you say yes to a lot, and
yeah.
then you have to actually learn how to say no
Yep,
and actually focus your attention
yep.
because saying yes to anything other than the purpose or the direction is taking away from that. And so it's sometimes it's not the opportunity, it's just the timing. And so
You know what's so funny? And I love that you said that because take it from me. I said no to everything. I
yeah,
said no to everything because it was just exactly for that reason. They were trying to take my attention from what I was doing, and I knew what I needed to do, and I knew where I wanted to go.
trust yourself.
I said no. And I said no to everything. I had a very famous musician who's in jail now, but they had their people call me and they wanted me to go on tour. They wanted me to, open up and do all of these things. And I said no. And the person got very upset and said, "Well, why are you saying no?" And at that time, I think I was maybe 2 years into my business. And see, people don't know that. Been a queen of shade for 8 years, but I've been in business because I started with music for 10 years. This is my 10th anniversary.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. So I said no. And I flat out said the reason. I said, "Listen, I'm not a lunchbox. I didn't build and prepare this entire meal for you to come along and slap your name on the outside and say you found it."
Dang.
They were so listen, they were so angry with me. Their people slammed the phone in my ear. They said I'd never make it. They said I'd never do anything. And like I said, I sit here with opulence and opportunity. And
That's
I have not left my house.
that's awesome.
I stayed true to what I wanted to do. And I told you I would talk about this. I'm sitting here today. This is my first piece of couture. This came from a couture designer in Madrid, Spain, who happens to be a friend of mine, whom I did an interview with. And this is my first piece of couture. This is organza. Like, this is a big deal. And
Yeah.
I befriended him and never left my house.
Hmm.
And
That's
people
crazy.
said, this is a couture
That's
piece.
crazy.
Miss
Kind of cool.
Universe, Miss Universe wore
That's
this.
cool.
You know,
That's
Miss
cool.
Universe wore this. And now I own it.
That's
And
cool.
literally, he said, I'm going to send this to you. And I haven't left my house. The reason why I'm saying this to you is because it ties in with what we were saying earlier. From your battle station, just manage everything. Just manage everything. As long as it aligns, manage everything because you can. I was keeping them off my ass literally for years. I was one of those people. I'm not laying down, I'm not sleeping down, I'm not sucking nothing, I'm not nothing to get an
Right.
opportunity. And I stuck to that. And you should have heard me when I was first became the Queen of Shade. I used to go in.
Right.
I used to I used to go in.
Figured the name came from somewhere.
Yeah, like I was like, listen, I'm not one of these bitches in the street. Like, I'm not sucking dick for this. Okay. I'm not ass. I'm not doing none of that. So, and I held on to my guns and I got it in the end. Even the opportunities that I have there, it's so funny because I said to my grandmother, because my grandmother is like my number one supporter and we're together, we do this together. And I
That's
said
cool.
to her, I said, you know what's so crazy? I used to want to act, I used to want to sing, I used to want to model, and all of those things. And I said, it's so crazy now because I'm being asked to do those things, and I'm being asked to do the number one creator, the character, and the only character I've ever created, the Queen of Shade.
That's cool.
When I am asked to do it, they don't want Bjorn Dufault. They want the Queen of Shade. And because you want what I've created,
It's cool.
and then we have to talk. My lawyer's out of Fresno, California.
Oh, cool.
Like my grandmother was very insistent on me doing it the right way. And the reason why I'm saying this to you is because I did a series, like I'm a mentor too. So I mentor young artists and entertainers and all of these things, and I always tell them, you're making this brand online. It's becoming larger than life. It's big. You're going places. People are seeing you. And you didn't think to start an LLC to hide the proceeds? Like, put the proceeds behind it, a company. And then not just that, like, there's so much you can do. Like, they're not even trademarking their names. And I'm like, here you are making this name famous. You're going viral with this name. Get it? I went viral. I didn't have a name at that time. I didn't have a name. I was calling it the Wrath of a Goddess. My grand It's so crazy because my grandmother was actually sick in the hospital, having to have her gallbladder out. And one of my friends who I had mentored for a long time, he went viral and had astronomical success online. And he wanted to give back to me for always being in his corner and being his mentor. And he shared me. And I went from 10,000 followers to 22,000 in one night.
That's crazy.
So get this. I had been in the business for
Cool.
years. I had been in the business for years. So I knew how this went. So I started screaming. My grandmother's like, what's up? I said, I need a name. We got to make this legitimate. Like, I knew. And then my grandmother says to me, why not the Queen of Shade? And I said, I can't be that. I can't do that. That's a big name. I can't fill that. She said, you will, and you are, and you will. And so I issued a statement in the hospital because we were still there. Issued a statement. I said to my following, I will now be called the Queen of Shade. And then when I got home with my grandmother, she looked at me and I knew what she was telling me to do without even saying it. But then she said it. Now take your happy tail upstairs and trademark that name. And when I tell you, if I hadn't have done that, I'd have been a fool because I've had Marvel Comics, I've had Disney, and I've had Nene Leakes all try to steal my trademark.
Crazy.
And my lawyer was able to issue cease and desist letters to all of them. Oh no,
That's
honey.
crazy.
Oh no, honey. She owns this. So that's what I'm saying. Like you, from what I hear from you, you're very business oriented. So once you realize that your brand is starting to get out here and people are asking you to do things, you got to come up with a name. And that name's got to be, that name's got to fit.
Most definitely.
Right now, you're making T2T results famous. You're making it famous. So, and if that goes with your fitness business, that's a trademark that needs to be there. It needs to be $2,000.
I agree.
It needs to be like I teach people how to work smarter and not harder and get it. Even when I started, there was a lot that I didn't realize. Man. But I teach people to think ahead. No one is really just doing this for shits and giggles. And I have to say that to everybody. We in some capacity want it to catch on, want it to go viral, want people to recognize, want people to see our talent. We do. So if we actually are honest with ourselves, we want it to catch on. So if you want it to catch on, treat it like it's going to catch on. Treat it like it's going to catch on. Just a matter of time. And prepare. And that's all I'm saying. But anyway, I digress. So anyway.
I'm with you.
I know you are. That's why I digress.
Interesting that you say like nobody's in this for shits and giggles, man. I think
no one is.
I wonder like if somebody. So a couple years ago, I had a random thought. I was like, I wonder what I would do if I could only use Instagram if it was a business account.
Yeah.
At the time, I had like 2 or 3, just like stupid, just for different feeds. Like, right. And I started thinking, I was like, man, as much time as I'm wasting on here, I wonder if I like only could use it if it was a business. What would I do? How would I do it? That's pretty much what I do now, but it's just like, and now that I approach it with a business mentality, it's just funny because I do think that a lot of people are just kind of out here winging it.
Yeah, they are. Get this. I went viral on Instagram alone. I'm not big on TikTok. I'm not big on Facebook. I'm not big on none of them. I'm now building TikTok. Now TikTok is going crazy.
No, for sure. No, TikTok is a whole TikTok's a whole thing in itself.
I haven't had not one person say anything mean to me.
No, actually, on that, I actually like TikTok more than I like Instagram. Instagram's where I started, and I actually have a checkpoint that I want to get to before I introduce any other platforms.
Yeah, I agree.
But I actually really enjoy it. Like, to me, like the ability for the platform to suck somebody in, TikTok has got that. Like they have got it hands down. And also I like their algorithm way better than Instagram. Or like, Meta will shove up whoever pays, where it seems as if it's actually good content.
Yep.
TikTok's algorithm will actually show it.
It's so crazy too, because my TikTok, not my TikTok, my Instagram, I used to get, oh my God, the algorithm loved me because I worked so much. So I'd get 50, 60,000 views at one time. Now I get 1 like, 2 likes, 3 likes. But guess what? That those impressions still tell me that it tells me 785,000 people viewed you.
Crazy.
The sad thing is it'll tell me, and 740,000 of them are non-followers.
No, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's also somebody else said this, like I saw it on somebody, I think it was like Jeff Selfie or something. Like he makes awesome content, but he was saying something to the effect of the huge spikes as far as like everybody wants to go viral, right? And it's like you go viral, but then it's like if you don't have a plan, like what are you going to do? And then what? How are you going to turn the views into money? Yep. And most people genuinely don't think that far. They're just solely thinking about putting out a piece of content and hoping that it goes viral. Right. Even if it does.
Right.
How are you going to turn that into money? Do you actually do you have the ability to do that for whatever that looks like? And I think that was that was interesting to think about for me, at least, because I had no. By the way, like I don't know if it was. I don't think I've ever gained like 10K overnight, but that first piece of content that did well, where I think it's like somewhere around a 500,000 views or something like that. So it's like obviously a lot higher performing content out there. But it was like for me, I was like, this is cool.
Yep.
And I was just excited about it. But I had no thought process really put into the back end much outside of, well, I guess we're starting this fitness business now. Like, I guess this is
Right.
actually getting serious. And I hadn't put thought much into it. I actually heard that earlier on. And so thank you again for him putting that out because it actually was helpful in me. Okay, cool. If it now let's actually start building out the back end,
Yeah.
everything else that now exists that
Get
no
it.
one has.
Get it.
Yeah.
Get it. You doing it the same way we all did.
And nobody has any idea that there's a back end, by the way, behind
Yeah.
it. They just see two
Yeah.
real. It's just,
Like hello, there is. There is.
yeah.
I
No,
had I got three podcasts. I got a merchandise store. And
yeah, for
what people
sure.
don't understand is I spent thousands upon thousands of dollars to create all of that stuff and
No, for sure.
wasn't being paid a dime. Wasn't being paid a dime because I was building a business.
Yeah.
People think,
Yeah.
oh, and now people are tripping. Oh, they're taking away Reels bonuses. Baby, I never subscribed to Reels bonuses.
Yeah. No, for sure. That was not
I
part
never.
of
If
it.
you want something from me, you gonna buy this merch. You're gonna book me as your mentor. You're gonna cash at me a donation.
Sure.
You're gonna do it the way I want you to do it. You're gonna buy this music.
For
You
sure.
watch. You're gonna watch YouTube. Like there are ways. They were hounding me. Oh, you should join your Reels. You should join Reels. You should join the Reels incentives. And then what happened? Meta announced that they were taking them away because now they're talking about banning TikTok. So they feel like
Right.
they don't have any more competition. So why do we have to pay you? And then what's worse is now I'm not knocking anybody. I got my check. I got my blue check on my own in 2018.
For sure.
But it was like, now it's like they were thinking of another way to get more money out of their followers, out of their
I think
youth.
it's genius.
It was for
Well,
them.
it's genius for them. I
Exactly.
think it's like, well, and also too, in the way that they rolled it out, I think it's like in other countries. I heard they're not doing it in the U.S., but I heard they were like basically giving perks to them, like extended reach and a bunch of other stupid stuff, to where it was like incentivizing, especially if you're in a business or you're an influencer or a celebrity, anything like that, entertainer. It was they were genius with it to me, and I think right now they're clocking to do like 2 or 3 billion off of check mark, like off of a like I'm like, dude, off of $15 check marks. I think that's insane to me. I think it's genius, but it's like also it
Yeah.
makes me think about value and business and stuff.
No, but you know what? I love that you said that because I don't have any problem with anybody getting their check. I don't have any problem.
Yeah, man, I did. Yeah, I think it's really
Hey,
cool.
that's
Off
gonna
of
think
the
at the end of the
illusion
day,
of
we're not here to judge each other's progress.
I think it's yeah, no, actually I just like stuff like that. Like to me
Well, make sure you get
it's
yours.
I got mine. Yeah, yeah. No, I got mine. I actually tried. I got mine yesterday. Actually,
Okay.
applied for it. Yeah, they gave it to me.
Congratulations.
Again, I actually track all the metrics and stuff, so I'm gonna see if there's any difference between having the check, not having the check. But I do think it is interesting that people feel like the person has more significance or clout just because of a freaking blue check mark.
A lot of people did, because I didn't feel that way, but I felt like, and this is so crazy. I'm glad we can have this conversation. I felt like people would take you more seriously if you had the check. That was
It seems like that actually is a thing, which
Yeah,
is
people take you much more seriously when you have the check. And that was,
yeah,
you see, my thing is when I started, though I had been in the industry for 20 years, I was just starting on the internet and I hadn't done anything, in this country. So, though I had been in the industry and been learning and honing my craft, nobody knew who the hell I was.
yeah,
And then in 2018, I because I was working so much on my own, I hit 21 million likes in 1 year.
that's
That's how
cool.
much content. Like I literally have about 35,000 pieces of content, original content I created.
Push out a lot.
Yeah, I was giving it, giving it, giving it, giving it. I can do that. That's something I can do. But when I got that check, it just changed everything.
I think actually because of how often you turn out content, it's
Yeah,
gonna kill on TikTok.
yeah.
Like I think that their algorithm is built to where it's like ideally it's something upwards of like 12 pieces of content a day or something around that to
Yeah,
where
and I'm well over that.
yeah, the rate that you turn out content is going to be like, I really think that that's going to be cool for you.
But you know what? It's still, but that's the point that I want people to realize. It still boils down to hard work.
Oh, for sure, always. I
And
think,
I
yeah,
tell
for sure.
people, even with a blue check, you're not gonna outwork me. You're not
Mhm.
gonna outwork me. You're not. Because I'm built for this. This is my, like, other people are running off to their jobs. This is my job. Because I get people that get upset. Oh, I wish this bitch would take a break. I wish this bitch would stop posting. I wish this bitch would stop sending me DMs. I wish this bitch, and I'm like, baby, this is what I do full time. I don't have another job.
Yeah,
I haven't had another job. Oh God, for years, at least over
sure.
more than a decade.
That's
It's,
awesome.
yeah. So my
Beautiful
thing,
feeling. It
yeah,
is
but
a it's really
my
cool.
thing is, I also think it will put people to the test. Let's see what you're really made of,
Yeah.
and then that way, let's see if you got the chops. And that's a good thing. So congratulations on your blue check.
It's $15. It's, I mean, so I appreciate, let me say this. I don't think that that's an achievement. I think, let me say this. I'm very careful with what I choose to attaboy myself with, and I'm not.
Right.
I don't see a blue check as one of them. Just being
Right.
real, I put in $15 and took a picture of my ID, but I do want to see what returning is. That
Yeah.
is something.
It's gonna
Again,
bring a lot.
is
It's,
there a return on the $15 a month investment? Like that's what I want to see. And so,
and you know what's so crazy? The return is going to have to still, you're going to still have to work so hard for that because you're going to have to funnel them into something they can actually purchase.
oh yeah, so that's yeah, that side is we got that.
Yeah.
Like the front end. Do you care to hear? Like we actually the front end is like yeah, already.
Do I care to hear? I'm sitting
What's
here
what's
talking.
what's
Talk.
up? What's up? I'm asking because it's
Talk.
like
No,
all right. So
I'm that way too about business. So go ahead.
yeah, well, so it's like we got the wacky, wavy, flailing, inflatable arm tube men and the unicorns and stuff up in the front, with which is me pushing out 2 reels a day and me doing some goofball content. At some
Yeah.
point, it will go to 3.
Yeah.
Let me say, while we're in this phase of the business plan, I'll say that while we're
Yeah.
here, that's where we're going to be.
Yeah.
And you come in, right, and you have the basically the people who are the customer service, the people having the conversation. We have like basically the front part of a gym, effectively. The people
Yeah.
who are gonna sign you up for the fitness plans, and then we got the gym in the back where we're gonna get you all sexy, take some pictures, and then you go out the back, right?
Yeah.
I use that kind of as an like illustration, but genuinely know that there is actually a department. We actually have that on the. That is exactly what that looks like.
Yeah.
So for me, getting views on the content, the reason. Let me say this. Yes, I care if the content performs.
Yeah.
Care if the content performs because I know the KPIs behind that. I
Yep.
know for every 400 conversations, it leads to this many
Yep.
clients. I know
Yep.
from I know from each client. Like so, for me, it's a and I'm here's the coolest thing is I get to help people with the content I put out, and also too, I'm very upfront about it. Like, hey, I'm here to help you get your body in shape. Like, and so it's
Yeah.
like I'm being very upfront about everything, and it's like I'm glad that you guys laugh and get entertained and stuff, but it's like I'm a business person that looks good, and so it's like and I will continue to entertain and like let's have a good time while we do this for sure. But I'm like, just know this is a well-oiled machine back here, and we are excited to help you. It's one of those things. At some point, though, in the future, I will have a team producing content. Though
Yeah.
I'm not, and actually, the plan for that is hopefully we can start working towards that on by the end of the year, December.
What's your birth sign?
Say again.
What's your birth sign?
I got a Leo. Yeah, it's actually
Ah, yeah, fundamentals. You guys
ah,
are so smart. So
yeah, I
smart.
break everything. So everything is what I found is emotional. So interesting. Bipolar two. So bipolar two, manic depression, right?
Yeah.
Got the label and all that whatnot, right?
Yeah.
What I found is that played out very heavily in my real estate career.
Okay.
Uh, and what has I credit having more emotional stability here
Yeah.
to the fact that it's one, I am a completely different person after taking like 7 months to just kind of figure out what the heck do I want to do, which I'd never done that in my life, by the
Yeah.
way. My entire adult career was like we grinding, right? And so one, that was helpful. Number two is if you can actually just reduce everything down to inputs and outputs, yes, a lot of work is required to be successful at anything. Well, let me be real. Most people don't work as much as they say they do, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
The point is, the point. If you're working, it's helpful to reduce it down to numbers, so
Yeah.
that way it creates a sense of stability.
Yeah.
You know, either you're doing the work that's going to produce this result, or you're not. And also, too, then you can actually again start to, if you want it to scale or have other people do it, there are numbers with that. And for me, it's like I've done the making good money solo thing, and so part of this mission that I'm on now over the next 7 years is building a large enterprise that it's like it's not just me because I've already won that game already. So I know that it's funny you're talking about being basically like living off your own efforts for more than a decade. I think I'm coming up on like year 7, and so
Yeah.
it's like for me, it's like I already know that I can make good money on my own. I just want to build something that is actually I really see this helping one, really helping the queer community,
Yeah.
genuinely. Also, two, it's a personal challenge because I don't know if you can relate to this, but for me, business is a spiritual, mental, like it's a test battleground. Like I love it, how much I can like change and grow. And so it's like, yeah, this is who I need to become to turn this into what I want it to be is gonna be great. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great for
No,
sure.
I commend you because that's what happened. It's so funny that you say that because I have been in front of this camera for the last 8 years.
Awesome.
And with as much as I've been in front of this camera, it's been double time. Like literally, they say you know how they say you need to spend 10,000 hours
Yeah,
on something and
I love
practice
that.
to become an expert. Well,
Yeah,
I've had 18 years. It
yeah,
came out roughly to 157,000 hours.
isn't that crazy?
And you know, it was so crazy. People laughed, people scoffed, people, oh, she's not making any money. She's not doing this, she's not doing that. But what I was doing was I was increasing my potential to make money
No, for sure.
and also
Skills.
aligning myself with people that were already earning,
Mhm.
you know, and that
Yeah.
was the thing. So then doing that, if you keep doing that, then someone says, hey, would you like to do this? There's the check. You know, and it was so crazy because I started making money. The most money I've made was from my mentoring.
But I think there's power in like so brand is
Yep.
the one thing that genuinely like super understatement of the year is that time and brand. Like the longer you do the thing, like it's just like it is extremely powerful, it seems. Because I've only I got the concept, or let me say the concept did started to make sense to me when I was in real estate. And I was like, oh, every year that I'm in this game, it just gets easier.
Yeah.
Like I was like, just because it's like I've been here. Like, not
Yes.
to mention I know everyone. Like, it's, and so that's when I started to piece that together. But I was like, yeah, it's really cool to be playing on a platform that now it's like it's literally the world instead
Yeah.
of just a small city. So it's cool.
Yeah. But and you know what? That's the thing. And that's what people don't realize. If you stay, you get to know everybody. If you stay and if you do it, you run past everybody. Everybody runs past you. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's what they don't understand. Social media is a business. You know, you run past everybody. Everybody gets to know you. People that it was so funny because there was such an elite club coming onto social media. They didn't talk to me.
Mm.
Then, you know, I go viral. Now everybody's, oh, hey, Queen. Hey, Queen. And then they keep seeing me, you know, move up. And it's like, oh, no, we got to pay attention to her. We have to pay attention to her. And
Where
it's
do
like,
you
go ahead.
when you get to Paris? Where are you going to take your brand?
I'm taking my whole brand because, see, this is the thing. See, okay, this is the good part.
Okay.
See, Paris is where I want to live.
Okay.
Offers to do things in fashion and in music and in acting there. But for the most part, I plan to make the majority of my money online.
Cool.
That's the thing. Paris
That's
is where it's just going to be my headquarters. But everything that I'm doing, I can do out of my house.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the point. You know,
Yeah.
that's that's the thing. And people say, well, how are you going to do this and how are you going to do that? Well, she will have I can't give too much away here, but
Mm.
There are bigger opportunities with a heftier price tag on them that are going to pay me so that I can come back and do what I want to do even more. And that's
Awesome.
the thing. That's the phase that I'm in. I'm accepting offers to do things that do not require me to sign my life away or my brand away or my likeness away. And they allow me to make money, be marketed, and so I can come back to what I do. Business. And people say, okay, pinpoint where your business suffered with you trying to learn it as you were going along. I can tell you flat out where my business suffered. Wasn't productivity, wasn't anything. It was advertising.
Hmm.
It was advertising. My business suffered because of the advertising. I wasn't paying enough for advertising. I wasn't spending enough on advertising. And now I don't have to. But guess who's still going to? See, see, this is the thing. In business, you don't want, oh, it could happen. You want it's going to happen. So you still got to spend the money. You still got to spend it. So that's what I'm doing even with this time around. Like I left Instagram for a minute. Like
Oh, great.
yeah, like 7, 8 months. I was gone.
It,
And what did I do? I built like I still used Instagram. Now look at this. I used Instagram to stay in touch with the people that I wanted to interview. And
oh, cool.
I pulled them from Instagram over to YouTube.
Mhm. Makes
So
sense.
yeah, they were working for me. They kept it was my Rolodex, and I slid into everybody's DMs, and they're like, "Oh, you're not posting anymore," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not, but I'm working on something new. Will you come over here? Will you do this?" And they're like, "Oh, sure, we'll do this," and that's even why I structure the talent agreement form the way that I do, because, like you said earlier, I have a podcast all by myself. I have songs all by myself. I have books I've written all by myself, so this is a collaborative effort. So we both should benefit from this.
Yeah.
I don't need to take home 100% of the proceeds here. I got all this other shit. You see? So this is the part where I'm like, no, I want to do collaborations with the people that I genuinely want to collaborate with. This is what this
That
is.
I like and fuck with.
Yeah, this is
No
what
one
this
else.
is. This is what this is. But seriously, I just want to say thank you so much for coming to talk to us today. I cannot keep you any longer because my nose is about to die.
It's been a pleasure.
So I
Thank you
need
for the invite.
you are so welcome. So listen, I need you to do something for me. I need you to give me 3 words that inspire and empower you.
Hmm.
I ask every guest.
Okay. As in a sentence or independent?
Words, just 3 words. And then you can
Keep
explain
moving.
it if you want to.
Keep moving forward.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was a sentence or if it's just like 3 words, like attributes or anything. But
such a brain. Get this. Something just came to me.
what?
Cannot let you go without asking you this question.
Okay.
They will flog me. They will flog me.
Jeez.
Said that you didn't always live as an openly gay man.
No. And to be honest, as far as like
Talk about that. Because you even said you have a child. So can you talk about
yeah, I have a daughter, man. Ain't that something, man? She turns 2 in June, so in 2 months,
Oh
right?
wow, so this is new.
Yeah. Um,
So wait, your journey into same-sex dating and same-sex partner, is that new?
so I had kind of like messed around with guys between relationships, but it
Okay.
wasn't it wasn't like only had girlfriends.
Okay.
And so yeah, Lewis is definitely my first boyfriend. And yeah, things just didn't work out with my ex. It's an unfortunate thing. It was actually one of the harder like literally like that is definitely the hardest decision of my life was making the decision to not be with her
Yeah.
because it turned out the way that I thought it would, which is it impacted the relationship with my daughter because of both of our personalities. She is I will actually give her this. She's one of the few people that I'll say is equally as smart as me, if not smarter.
Right.
I actually think she may be smarter.
Right.
Has equally as strong of a personality as me,
Right.
which that is like incredibly like she is a very, very, very strong woman.
Right.
I just knew that it was like this is not gonna go like when I say that we're like not getting back together, this is probably gonna be like the end this time. And so it was. And so you live. And so yeah, that was that. And then kind of just this time I started talking to Lewis, I was like, I think it was more where I was when I
Okay.
was just kind of like, because I'd already, messed around with guys before, but I was like, I want to actually be able to talk to my brother about my relationship instead of just being like, oh, like everybody's like, oh, like, who's the new girl? Like, and I'm like, like I'm, I just ain't talking to nobody, I guess, because at that time, my business was always my business. At first, I went through, it was phases. Didn't want to, so one, started out since I was like 13, watching a mix of gay and straight porn, right?
Right.
But I was like, but hey, look, I can't, this is just not who I can be. And so it's like, we just shove that, right?
Right.
And then it went into like, okay, like this is not going away. I actually like, and I like felt like almost like upset that I was like, okay, I know that I like girls, but I'm really, really curious about guys. And it's like, I felt bad about like, and then it went to like a sense of peace. And then it was like an internal acceptance around it, but it's like, I still wasn't expressive with it. And
Right.
so, uh, yeah, the point is at some point I got to a spot where I was just kind of, I'm just tired of like, I did it for me. I'm just tired of not being able to like live my truth
Right.
because because of what someone else is going to think of me. Like that to me is like the dumbest thing. I got to a point where I was just kind of like, I'm literally hating aspects of my life, not being able to share certain experiences with people that I love, they love me, off of the fear of what are they going to say if it's like the person that I like has a dick. Like, oh my God, God forbid they call me gay. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
like, it's like, so I'm not living to keep this facade together. And so, which is very interesting because believe it or not, Lewis is actually, I don't believe in anybody making anybody do anything, but he's actually now starting to, because of my life, um, he's now at a spot to where he's considering talking to his parents and stuff. And so it's like, because he's same thing. It's just I think everybody goes through a phase of once you get to acceptance, it's like my business is my business,
Right.
and it's like I'm gonna do what I do. But it's like, and so, but I think there's something past my business is my business that is so freaking liberating, and it
Yeah.
allows you to make your personality more extreme or potent, if you will. And I think that this is something that I was talking to somebody else about. I really believe that success in life. This is just my opinion is, and I don't know, I may think different when I'm like older, but it's like, I think part of success has to be finding out who you are, what you stand for, what you believe, not just the beliefs that were given to you and living that to the fullest. Because what you'll find is it makes you a magnet for everybody who like, everyone who's supposed to be there, cool. They'll be like, they'll be able to feel you, smell you, like pick up your vibration, whichever, however you want to phrase that. They will like, they will come to you and everybody else leave.
Yeah.
And it's great.
You're talking about, what's so crazy? You're talking about self-actualization.
I don't know whatever the right word is, but it's something that I've come to realize is like
Okay, self
just being as potent of a person with your beliefs as possible. Be willing to say, no, I don't like this. Yes, I do like this around everything. And it's like, of course, like time and a place for everything. Like say what you say. Like it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? But it's like be willing to stand with your beliefs, whatever it is. And for me, I like girls and guys, and I wanted to be able to like live that. And so
Yeah.
it's like rather than having to like pretend to not like guys just because of what somebody might think. And
Yeah.
that's really
You know, and I commend you for that because I was getting ready to say too. I didn't really want to ask the gay question because this is the thing. A lot of like they don't understand anymore that gay is a spectrum now. It's not just gay or straight. Like there's a whole spectrum. So you can't just ask somebody, "Are you gay?" Because it's like, well, wait a minute. Like I like this, I like this, I like that, I like that. And I've talked to so many men that, you
I
know,
just respond, I'm James. What are you
yeah,
gay? Like, and I'm like, well, I'm in a relationship with a guy if that's what you're asking.
yeah.
Or like I'm like, well, depending on how I'm feeling, I'm like, yeah, I just got done sucking my boyfriend's dick last night. If you're just like,
Ah, yeah,
I'm
man.
just, no, I'm serious. Like it's like actually people in the DMs like, are you gay? Like, well, I mean, like I kind of did just take some dick last night. I don't know if that like qualifies me
I'm
as gay.
so mad at you.
You know, but it's like the thing is like for me, it's like, and I usually always end it with, but I identify as I'm James because
Yeah,
I don't. Everyone's different on this. I don't think. I think it should be uh, a characteristic should not make the character. The
right.
character should make the characteristic, and so it's like
Oh, I gotta
I
ask
make.
a question because they're gonna get me again. Because everybody's so curious about you, and I gotta ask the question. Like I gotta do the job. So you
Okay.
like men and you like women, and I usually don't go there. I protect every single man that comes here. This is a safe space. But when you were talking, it seemed kind of like when you said about your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, you were like, "We're not getting back together this time." It made it sound like there was a potentiality for you to get back together.
Oh, we
So
no. Oh God, no. We're it's. I think it's gonna be a miracle if she ever reaches out to me, and if she does, it's probably in regards to our daughter. Like
okay.
it's like
Because
she's.
I was going to say you show clips of you and your boyfriend, and your boyfriend is so adorable.
Nah, he is. He's cool. He's a real cool dude. So my ex girlfriend, she is a very, very strong-willed person, and so it's like I'm like I don't think that if she ever contacts me, I'm almost certain that it's because of our daughter, and it's like I'm not expecting any other communication other than this is exactly why I'm calling. You know that I don't, you know, and it's like she also it's not what she says, but what she doesn't say that's equally as important. I think that that's also something that I appreciate is direct communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we are not getting back together. But I say again because there was a period um we broke up, got back together, and we did that for like a long time. We probably should have not done that, but it's like I'm sure she had her reasons why she was trying to keep it together. I had my reasons why I was trying to keep it together. Part of my reasoning was the belief of, well, all the nevers that I built, I
Yeah.
ain't never gonna leave my kid when I have my kid.
Yeah.
I ain't you a piece of shit if you leave. You know, it's like all those nevers that come from being raised by a single mom. So
Yeah.
it's like having to now confront those beliefs, and it's like, oh man, my baby is like in her stomach. I've literally built my whole life around one day I'm going to be a dad. And now I'm having to confront the reality that I'm not happy in this relationship. And so, yeah, that was a whole thing there, but we are not getting back together. There's like,
But you know what? I'm proud of you because what I'm proud of you though, James, because a lot of men would have just stayed for the baby.
no, for sure. And then here's the thing a lot of those men, let me say this that clip of my life,
Yeah.
I was interesting enough. And I'll say this that clip of my life, I was making between $300,000 and $400,000 a year,
Right.
selling real estate in a small part where average median income is 45K. So it was like I was living good, right?
Right.
And so it's like I also, while making that money, was drinking 3/4 of a bottle of tequila a night.
Right.
Was like literally just not being good to my body at all. I did not care. I was constantly thinking about like ending it, driving off the road. Like, I don't have to go back here. Like, why did I build all of this stuff? Like, and I think a large part of that is, I think it's important for people to realize what do you actually want in
Yeah.
this life? And for me, I know, um, I value my happiness
Yeah.
because I'm the only one that's got to live this life.
Yeah.
And I love, and at some point, I'm sure I'm going to have an opportunity to talk to her, man, but it's like, I guess it's, I'm choosing to live for me. And I don't think that some people may not approve of this. I'm going to live my life as opposed to choosing the other option, which the only way that I saw that playing out was me continuing to be miserable and say that I'm doing it for my daughter and then give her that jacked up version of myself where I'm like basically self-medicating all the time to fuck excuse me to get through it.
You can curse.
Like
You can curse,
well, I'm
Jay.
like I'm just gonna like self-medicate myself to fucking sleep or like, you know, like just to fucking like make it through the day. Like so I can like what you know about being drunk, like literally from like I had like 2.5 hours that I was probably sober a day. You know, it's like, or like we bring it, hey, look, all and bring it to the company parties. Like I'm the guy bringing. I have 6 bottles of tequila in my trunk. Yeah, it's Friday meeting. Let's go. Like that
Yeah,
is not. I'm drinking and driving. Like I was. It was a matter of time, and it's so I could give my daughter that version of me and keep the relationship together, or and it's just the relationship that we had because
yeah,
we were very strong personalities and we couldn't figure it out. We
right,
valued, she wanted what she wanted. I wanted what I wanted. Also, we were in different phases of life. She's again got a 10 years on me. At the time, I'm like, I don't want to just be in your fucking house all the time. Like, I
right,
got my own fucking houses for a reason. Like, I like being in my own space. Like, you know, it's like I'm gonna do my own things. Like, I'm gonna come
right.
back. I want to come back. Like, it's like, and it just, it is what it is. But such is life, you know.
You know
I
what's so
chose me.
you know what's so crazy, and I commend you for it. But guess what? Therein, it's so crazy because you're building your business, stay on par, do all that you're doing. But guess what? You just showed me where the money is.
What
You
is?
you just showed me, like, I don't even think you realized it. You showed me where the real money is for you. Because see, that's what a lot of people don't realize. They do these things and they're like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And I'll use me as an example. I'm a singer, I'm an actor, I'm a model. I can write really well, so that makes me an amazing journalist. I display that journalism skill on my profiles and all. I cite sources, I do all of that stuff. I am a terrific public speaker, motivational speaker, mentor. But, and I was just going to say that, but my money is actually in helping people live authentic lifestyles, whatever, that is.
Whatever it looks like.
For you, you're speaking to an entire demographic of men. And this is the thing, because especially as Black men, we have been shamed about our sexuality for so long. And it has been painful and it has been terrible. So, with you saying, like, yo, I had to get out for me, I would have ended up killing myself. It's basically what I heard. It was like, running off the road, driving off the road, driving drunk. I would have ended up in jail. I would have ended up like you were, your whole psyche was acting out like you were the one throwing the tantrum, because it was like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, there's more for me. And it's people like you that we never see coming, but like when you come, that story is so, oh my god, like it's so big, it's bigger than you. Like, it's like, keep building your business, keep doing that. But I love the fact that there are so many men that are going to look up to you, like, dude, how did you do it? Like, I have 4 kids, I have 3 kids, I've been with their mom since we was in high school, and I don't want to, I can't tell her or any of my friends that I like dudes too. And it's this thing, because people get upset. Oh, well, he sounds like he's running back and forth. No, bisexuality actually exists. It is not some chasm that doesn't exist. There are men that like both. And we need to allow them, because see, the gay community does that, and we're wrong for it. We need to allow those men to be bisexual, the same way we want to have people allow us to live on our spectrum. So it's just I see so much power in motivational speaking for you. Like, there's so many things I see that you're going to be able to do, because it's literally right there. Like, right there is your money. That's we'll talk off camera.
No, I agree. I think
I
that
have
people
your
usually
information.
can't. I think people usually can't go higher than they are deep.
Yeah,
But I think that that's a personal belief of mine. That it's like I found that everybody that I actually respect and look up to,
yeah,
there's a reason why, and it's because they actually were built through their experiences as opposed to being broken by it.
yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of people have, because here's the thing: survival through the situation is good. but it's what you choose to do with it on the other side. And some people are built by it, some people get broke by it, and it's like they get stuck and trapped in that event that happened.
Yeah.
And it's which is why keep moving forward
Yeah.
are my 3 words as we wrap this up.
Thank you so much for taking the time and the opportunity to come and speak to me, because I learned a lot about you. And when this goes up, we all will. And it's an amazing thing. Now, before we go,
Appreciate the opportunity.
no problem. So before we go, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Right now, you can find me on Instagram at T2T results. And that is, I have a TikTok with the same handle, but it's like the one that I am building is the gram. And so I have that is it, period. Nothing else follows.
Yeah. Excellent.
Cool. I have a website too, though, but that's T2Tresults.com.
So get this. Thank you. Don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Mr. James Patrick, T2T Results on Instagram. Follow him, uplift him, let him know how beautiful he is, get in shape with him. He doesn't do online coaching, but still.
I do. That is the only thing I do.
Yeah, like he doesn't do online coaching because I follow. He doesn't do online coaching, but you will be inspired by this young man and his story.
No, that's what I'm saying is I only do online coaching.
Oh, you only do? You changed it.
Yeah, I've had people ask me like, hey, can I fly you out? Can I?
Oh, no.
I help people lose weight or build muscle online only. And I usually say it because I'm like, you wouldn't pay what I would charge you anyway. Just being
of that you changed it.
It is only online coaching. Since I started.
It's only on.
That is all I do. People keep asking me to do it in person, and I will laugh at it every time. But that is
that's smart, because that's exactly what my business is. It's only
that is all, because by the way, that's a whole nother, we can talk offline on that, but there's a reason I only do online.
Yeah, but get it. I always tell people I even keep my acquaintances and friends through the glass. It's always through the glass with me. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that.
Cool.
Anyway, don't go away. Hold on, let me end this.
So did you enjoy? I hope you did. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to cash at me at the Queen of Shade. I am your favorite content creator, right? Right. You want to see more of this content, right? Right. Cash at me. I love you. Mwah. Salutations, it's the Queen of Shade here. I need a huge favor from you. I need you right now to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My Instagram is I am the Queen of Shade, and my TikTok is I am the Queen of Shade. And I also need you to subscribe right now to my YouTube channel, which is the Queen of Shade. Now, I know that I always say that, but maybe you guys don't hear me. I need you guys to show up for me in full force the way that I show up for you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please follow me on Instagram at I am the Queen of Shade. Please follow me at TikTok at I am the Queen of Shade, because I need you guys. I want to get my numbers up. Numbers aren't everything. I have a lot of people watching that aren't saying anything, but it's time for you to declare yourself to me. You love me. Declare yourself to me. You love me. Declare yourself to me. Thank you in advance, and I love you all. Mwah. Turn that TV down.